to be alive.
I'll just have a cup of coffee, then I'll go. Thought that
Then I'll go. Good morning. Welcome back to the channel, Grand Colombia. Welcome to Armenia, Colombia. Another beautiful day, but in full disclosure, we had a couple rainy days, and we actually had one day, Friday, where it rained in the morning. Yeah, we get those once in a while. Okay, so we had a busy week. I've been working on my EPS, the health insurance thing that's required to have now, whether you need it or not. If you're a resident here, you have to subscribe to the EPS program to help support it, regardless of whatever else you may have. And so I ran into some difficulties, and I'll be doing an entire video on it. But the offices have been closed. And so they got a website, and you can enroll on the website. But it was very problematic, and I won't go into details now, but there was no category that I could find to fit. And so Natalie came to my rescue because she knows people. She knows people in Armenia. She knows people in Bogota. She knows people all over the place. And so she called in. And the first thing I did was check out my cedula and said that I was a dead man. I mentioned this in my update. So I'm looking forward to talking to you about that. Geez, agents here call and want to help you. Yeah, well, that's there, not here. So that took some time, but it looks like I've got it ironed out. The only problem I'm having right now is they're not charging me enough. So I have to get that straightened out because I have to reveal when I go to get my new visa in 6 months, I have to reveal that I've paid for the last 6 months the proper amount. And I haven't needed any health insurance because I actually have coverage. So, before pre-COVID, there was no bother with any of this, but they're bothering now. They need the money. And so I had to scramble and get signed up so that I can show 6 months of it. What else? My driver's license. Apparently, I finished the classroom portion this weekend. I wasn't aware of it, but I was just informed today that I finished it. And tomorrow, apparently, I'm taking the written test and that I've passed it. Let me show you what the class is. Basically, what I'm going to show you is a 2-hour class with a call at the end that's the same. So, are you ready? Watch this. Hello. So for the past 2 weeks, that's what I've had to do. It's been such a chore, so difficult. Difficile. It's been murder, to have to at 8 o'clock to make that call, and then at 10 o'clock to call back, and then at 10 o'clock to call back in again, and then at 12 o'clock to call back in to check out so that I can get 4 hours for that day. It's been tough. No hat for the class. I don't wear this hat except for the videos. You guys are supposed to know that. No glasses either. I think I just drag myself out of bed. I actually don't wear my glasses in the apartment except for the videos. What else? So this coming week, I'm going to have a 1 hour driving test. So I don't have to go through all the unless I fail the driving test. Maybe I have an accident or something. I don't have to do a driving test. I just have to go drive for an hour to show that I can drive. And then they give me a piece of paper. I go for the medical exam, and then they file everything. And in a couple weeks, I should get my license. So we're looking at about 3 weeks from now. And the person who helped me with the EPS and with some glitches I was having at the driving school is right here.
Hello. Hi guys.
Now you guys have been asking, so I thought I brought her in, but we have a rule that she has to speak English today because she's taking English classes, and so she needs the practice.
Yes.
So,
I learned English before week
last week.
last week. I little English.
But what have you been learning? What are they teaching you?
I learned in vocales,
Vocabulary?
vocabulario, vocales, spelling,
Mhm.
spelling,
The vowel sounds?
sounds, a,
Go ahead.
o, a,
A,
v,
E.
como la v,
Oh, yeah.
¿Cómo se pronuncia?
Yeah, that's a difficult one here because B is pronounced as a V in Spanish. And so that's one of those, like we have trouble with the rrr, and they have trouble saying B. Can you say B?
B,
No, that's V.
V,
No, B.
B,
B.
B,
To be or not to be.
or to be.
Okay. What else did you learn?
Phrases, long and short.
Oh, the sound,
Sound short and long.
like A or ah.
Yes. For example, may is short, and long is meet.
Oh, met and meet.
Meet and meet.
Cambia.
Cambia cuando es
It changes.
short.
To be or not to be. That's very funny. Image quality
Happy
is
Christmas.
diminished. Yeah, the
Happy
image.
San Valentín Day.
Oh, yeah. The image quality is probably a little messed up because this autofocus doesn't know who to focus on. And so she'll be a little blurry or I'll be a little blurry. It's just the way it is if you're sitting next to each other. Just can't really focus on two people at once very well. But it is Valentine's Day. And although she is not my Valentine, we're going to celebrate it. Ooh, look at that. You're great and cute. They said you're great and cute. Or is that
Thank
me?
you.
Am I great
You.
and cute?
You.
Me? Okay, enough of the Valentine's Day dreck. Okay, so we're going to talk about the news. Okay, romantico. Not. Okay, news. Let's go. Let's get to the news. Does Natalie like older married men? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. You got a chance. She likes old married men.
I like men all.
Oh. You know how bad that sounds? Look at it blur. Okay, here we go with the news. No, we don't want that. Let's go back to this. Okay. First bit of news that people coming here to Armenia are going to like. We booted all those medical patients from Kali that were disrupting our lives, or they died off, one or the other. And so now we have a curfew that has dropped back to 1 a.m. Now, if you're in Circassia, that little tiny hellhole of a town that's got nothing in it, except Nick loves it. If you're in Circassia, the curfew is 2 p.m. But here in Armenia and most of Kandillo, it's moved from 12 to 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. So that's good news. The hospital condition went from orange when we had all those Kali patients to now it's green. It's actually below normal. So that's pretty good. So focus on her. I would choose to do that, but it's an autofocus and I have no choice. All right, what else we have? Someone was asking me, where are they going to do the vaccinations? I'm not eligible for one. And I don't really care about it. I mean, I don't get flu shots either. But the University of Kandillo is now set up as a vaccination point. They got a whole bunch of students that are in medical students that have been trained for the shots, plus they'll have medical professionals there. And they've got an area set up in a parking lot, and people are going to come in and, get jabbed in the arm and run away. So that's how they're doing it. That's supposed to be week after this next week. Oh, yeah. This is an example. It doesn't just happen in the US or Canada or whatever. This is a woman who was on the bus going on La Linea, from Ibagué to here, all the tunnels. And the bus stopped somewhere and they thought she passed out. Turned out she died. She was on the bus with her 2 children. And so the first thing they did was test to see if she had COVID. She was like 27 years old, I think. And she had COVID. But cooler heads prevailed. And although this headline implies that she died from COVID, they haven't determined the cause of death. And they've said in the article that obviously it's not from COVID, but they don't know what it is yet. And what else we got? This is big news here. As a matter of fact, Robert sent me a video of this, and then it popped up in the newspaper, of course. A lot of people here are kind of up in arms over this. The Venezuelans who came into this country were supposed to get visas like everybody else. Now, they did have a period of time because if they came here, it was difficult. They couldn't always get a hold of their records, if they were fleeing. And so it was problematic for them, but they've taken that into account year after year. And what you have is a lot of people that have blended into the society without even registering. In other words, you got a lot of illegals that have crossed the border, and it's been a real issue. So the president just signed this grant of stay for 10 years to Venezuelans in order to get registered and to get their visa. But if they don't get themselves registered, then they're eligible for deportation. Now, there's a lot of people here that are kind of up in arms because they resent the fact that they've got way over 1 million people here that are taking jobs and working under the table. And to do them what they consider to be extra favors is kind of outrageous If you lost your job to somebody who was willing to work for half the money, you'd probably be a little upset too. But there's mixed feelings. I look at this, well, at least they're going to get them registered. And instead of having this nebulous whether somebody gets caught or not, they're kind of making it clear that if you don't go through this process, then you're breaking the law. So, there's that. I guess there's also the question of why don't other people get to have these special things? And well, it's a special circumstance. I mean, remember back with the Cuban boat lift, and there were special rules in that situation. It's a similar thing here. It's an emergency type of issue. So that's it for the news today. Did you follow all that? The Venezuela thing, is that good or bad?
Is in Spanish.
Yeah, if you have to.
Pues somos países hermanos y tenemos que apoyarnos. Pero esto afecta directamente los empleos en Colombia, porque va a haber más migración y pues quizás en algunos sectores haya nuevas ofertas, nuevos empleos, pero en otros sectores no. Entonces va a haber mucha más demanda para empleo y desempleo. Pues personalmente pienso que no es muy bueno, pero pues tenemos que ayudarnos entre nosotros.
And now in English.
We have no English now.
No.
Un moment.
Is it good or bad?
It's
Both. It depends.
little.
It depends who you are. If you need a job, it's bad.
yes.
Okay, so it is that time again. What time? This time. It's Q&A time. It's time to start asking your questions. Remember, 4 question marks first, then ask the question.
Pregunta.
Stop it. You're throwing the focus off. See, watch. The Colombians I have spoken think the president is buying votes, same thing. No, he's not buying votes. It's been a open-ended issue with no solution. And they've come down with something that, there's actually some guidelines to this now. So, you have like everywhere, you get a good portion of the population that hates the president no matter what he does, good, bad, or different. They're going to hate him. They're going to talk crap about him. But take the politics out of it, and you look at the situation that they've had where it's been open-ended, where people could commit crimes and have no way to find out who they were, and all kinds of problems like that. Now at least there's a structure to kind of put some order back into that chaos. And so, it's necessary. Okay, how much are you paying for that Colombian health insurance a month? Is that forever now? Well, I think when I die, I won't have to pay anymore. But yeah, it's you pay every month, and
Con pensión is excuse me. Con pensión is more
how
a
much
little,
is it?
300.
No.
No,
there's no. They're not. No one's going to be drawing a pension. This is only the health.
Only salud.
Yeah. Okay, 148,000 a month, except it should be about 225,000. They calculated it wrong. And I'm going to have to make sure that they correct it, because what will happen is if I go in and show 6 months of underpaying in order to get my visa, I'll have to pay that as a big lump sum to catch up. So I'll be paying 225,000 pesos a month, which is, how much is that? 60 something? I don't know. Somebody do the math for me. Okay, what else we have? Rob, good point. I saw press items saying that Colombian coffee is way down because of COVID and perhaps water, if I recall correctly. Do you know about it? I'm not sure what you mean by water. Water is water. I mean, it's normal. If anything, we had extra rainy season. I'm not following. The economy here and everywhere has been slammed, and it seems like the only people coming out of this in good shape are the large box companies, the large national and multinational companies. They, a lot of them have had record profits. Colombia is no different. If you take Falabella or, companies like that, they've profited because people, they already had online access where small tiendas didn't. And you could buy from them and you couldn't buy from the little tiendas. The coffee production amount I meant. Oh, coffee production amount? No, I don't think there's any effect there. I haven't heard anything about that. Because the farmers are, there's no COVID on the coffee farms. Let me put it that way. You are dead. Yeah. They shouldn't be charging you. What do you mean they shouldn't be charging me? Oh, because I'm special. Yeah. Mi salud is gratis. Especial. Yeah. $63. Okay, so $63 a month. Is it based on your income, the insurance? Yes. You take your income, your retirement income. This is why I said if you have like another pension and Social Security or whatever, you need to separate those. Your retirement income is what you need to base your visa on. And you take that retirement income and you multiply it times 40%. And then when you have that 40%, you multiply it times 12.5%, and that's the amount that you owe each month. What do you recommend for a 2-month visit? Airbnb? What do you think? I recommend Airbnb or Booking.com at least for your first, few days or a week. And then once you figure out where you want to be and what you're going to do, then, then you could set yourself up something more long-term. Don't book anything like for 2 months before you even get here. You're just going to be unhappy and lose money because there's a good chance that wherever you book without knowing what you're doing, you're going to want to change it. That's what I see all the time. Is it based on my income? I said that. 2 months. What do I think? $225,000, $64. Yeah, 63, 64. Tomorrow it might be 67. It might be 61. We're talking ballpark. Okay, no battle of the pesos here. 63.38. You said they found out you were dead. Yeah, I am dead, except there's the rest of the story. And I got to save that for the video because it's kind of long. Okay, we have any questions? You have any questions for my special guest and heroine and savior of the EPS and the driving school? Oh, we're going to go to this place. All right. I know you can't see it because you're seeing the flag on the background. But Natalie discovered it, and the guy speaks pretty good English, and it's a coffee shop near Parque de la Vida, and it's supposed to be really good. And so we're going to go and make a video and have some coffee and see if I can set up an interview with him. Is it possible to come on a tourist visa and have the paperwork done there? Of course. The paperwork takes took me 8 days. From the time I went to the visa office to the time I got the visa, it was 8 days. And then you go to the cedula office and you sign up for the cedula. They tell you to come back in 3 or 4 days and you've got your cedula. It's simple and easy. Now, what I explained about the EPS is if you're renewing your visa. If you don't have a cedula, you can't buy the EPS. So obviously getting your first visa does not apply. But like most countries now, they do require that you have health insurance to be here. And so you want to get some kind of traveler's insurance or something. I would do it for a month, maybe 2 months, just to be on the safe side. Then go ahead and sign up for the EPS. Now, once you have the visa in hand, no one's checking up on you. You just want to make sure that you do everything you're supposed to do so that down the line, it doesn't become problematic. Get over here. Any other questions? Do we have any questions for Natalie, the heroine of the day and the savior of my EPS and my driving school? It was huge for me, guys. When I do the thing on the EPS and what I went through and the website issues and the emails from the office in Bogota, back and forth and back and forth, it was your typical bureaucracy, very frustrating. And she knew people. She knew all of these people with all these phone numbers. And she got on and put them to work. Okay, anything else? You seem to be in a hurry to take Natalie for coffee. No, I'm in a hurry to go. Well, I'm not even in a hurry, but this next week, I want to go to meet this guy and go to that coffee shop. And because she discovered it, she's talked to the guy, knows the guy, she's going to go with me for an introduction. Yeah, it's like, I know how you think, but you're reading too much into it. She likes Canadians.
No.
Yeah. Hi, Natalie. What do you do for a living?
¿Cuál es vida?
Your work.
Now is for use, for ustedes.
Yeah, she's helping me right now, but
Is you.
Oh, this is news. She was supposed to be leaving this coming month, and she told me last night that she's going to stay here for a while. She's got 2 kids, enrolled them in school, and because her mom's here, her brother's here, her family's here, and she's not ready to leave yet. So we're stuck with her for a while. Yeah.
Now here.
Yeah, exactly. I should be speaking that kind of, my videos would go so much smoother if I just talk like that. You get a driving license for a vehicle. Is that give you permission to drive a motorcycle also? No, there's actually three basic licenses. The first one is for a car. Second one, well, you put them in whatever order you want, but car, motorcycle, and truck. Caminata?
Caminata.
Yeah. So
Camioneta.
Caminata. So I'm getting the car. Now, if you get 2 or 3 together, you do get a bit of a discount. And I do think in the future, I'll probably get a small motorcycle for bebopping around for little things, because I won't use the car here in town. So that's a possibility.
Excuse me.
Okay. I think I would have saved about 200,000 if I'd gotten the motorcycle with the car. But another part of the decision for me, aside from, the extra, 800,000, another part of it was I've been delayed so much in doing this. I just wanted to get it done, and all I really need right now is the car. So it was a larger expense. I don't really have the extra money. The savings isn't that huge. I will get a motorcycle someday, but God knows when that'll be, when I can afford to buy one. You can get them cheap, but still, so taking everything into account, it just didn't make sense. So I just get the car. But you can do all 3 at the same time, or you can get a car and a motorcycle, but they are separate licenses. Sorry for when I have interruptions, I freeze up. It's like I don't know what to do. And her boy here is 6 years old. He came busting into the closed door, and it's like, oh crap. So that's where we're at. Okay, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. Well, that's especially true here, I would say. It makes all the difference in the world. And as a matter of fact, it was because of her that I got that extra low price, except I would end up having to pay it anyway. So let me just do it, a little bit each month instead of getting hit up for 6 months, when the time comes. It'll be a lot harder for me then. But, I appreciate the effort. Are they asking any questions about whether you are filing for Colombian taxes when you renew the visa? No, and they wouldn't. Avoid situations where the taxes come into play. I've just got a retirement visa. It's not even $1,500 a month. So I don't fall into that taxable area. But if you get involved in things, you get involved in, a lot of guys want to finance businesses going on here. And there's all kinds of things you can do that can trigger tax situations. Just stay away from it. My banking's in the United States. Any money that transacts with me, like for the channel, I explained this before. In the United States, it's a piece of cake. If you're running an operation like I'm running here with this, if you're running at a loss, you get to put those losses down. And so that offsets any profits. And if you didn't make any money, you don't get taxed on it. Common sense, right? Here, it's not that way. It's why I had to separate my retirement for anything that comes in for this channel. Because if I get $300 or $400 in a month, which is, that's, I would say, typical, maybe a little 300 maybe. But if I get that in a month, they're not going to look at the expenses, like, having to buy things and fix things. They're not going to look at that. They're going to look at, oh, you've got more income. So you're setting yourself up for things like that. So you want to be careful about what you do. Don't get your information off my channel. Don't get your information off any YouTube channel or the internet. Actually talk to more than one professional, because even that is problematic. Can Natalie read English?
Yes, I can.
Better.
Read better?
Is
it better? Yes.
Well, there you go. It might be better to get a driver's license before buying a car. Not necessarily. No, not really. Now, my situation, again, I've explained this, so I won't go into depth, but if I were to go back in time and knew that COVID would hit and that COVID would be, a year later, we'd still be having, digging out of the issues from it, I would not have bought that car. But I had gone through several months of searching and negotiating, and I went ahead and getting that car without the knowledge that it would end up sitting in a garage for a year. Yeah, that's just the way it goes. And I couldn't do the driver's license. And even when I could, then I didn't have money for it. So it's a process. Life, what is it? Life gives you limons.
Lemons?
Yeah, and you have to make limonada.
Limonada.
Yeah. Is the insurance higher because of age? No, insurance is the insurance. You have to buy what's called SOAT. And it's based on the car, and it's the same as liability insurance. So there's a limit to any medical that it pays out. It doesn't give you anything for your car, for damage. If you get hurt, you're paying for the other person. You can opt to buy collision insurance and medical. Well, if you got APS, you don't need the medical anyway. But you can opt to increase your insurance. I'm driving an old clunker. I mean, I've got the equivalent of a $500 beater, except it was $2,500. But it's a beater here. It doesn't really have a lot of value, and I'd pay more in insurance over the course of time. But personal decision. You go buy a new car, then you're going to want something like that. I've been taking note. I was kidding. You know how I am. Yeah, I don't take much of what you say seriously, just sometimes. But I'm going to answer you anyway, because the thing is, you asked the question and you're joking, but other people have similar questions, so I'm going to respond to it. All right, we have anything else? Monstros.
No.
No.
No monstruos.
They're all monsters. Little niños. What kind of car did you buy? Well, I don't want to tell you because you're going to make fun of me. You didn't watch my car video? I actually did a couple. It's a 2004 Renault Megane Classic. You can look it up. It's got a couple 100,000 kilometers on it, 100,000 miles or so. Runs great, doesn't burn or use any oil. I have driven it around town a little bit. When I changed from the other building to here, one day I went out and drove. Doesn't burn any oil. Rides pretty good. It's got new tires, new brakes. It had a new timing belt, but there was no record of it, and those are interference engines. So I bit the bullet. I decided to get it changed anyway. And I said, well, it's probably stupid, but it was pretty inexpensive. I don't remember now. I put it in a video. I'm thinking it was, no, Megane. If it was a Logan, I would have said a Logan. No, I'm joking. I know that's a common model. The Megane isn't so common, but it's a Megane Classic, which makes all the difference. It's a little bit less ugly. Looks kind of like a General Motors car. What's a good place to meet women? Would you say most are friendly and approachable?
Pero no sé, I don't know.
I talked for half an hour about this in that dating video. It depends where you are. If you're in Medellin, it's one way. If you're in Bogota, it's another way. And if you're in Armenia, it's so simple. It's so easy. I meet people every time I go out. And when you meet a lot of people, because people are so friendly, then if you see anybody you're interested in, you can strike up a conversation. When I was doing that dating video, I met somebody at the mall. I've talked about these. And after joking around a little bit, I asked her out, and I was in a little shop off of 14 Camisetas. And there was a girl there. I started talking to her, and we're teasing each other. And she actually came over to help me with Spanish, but we actually never did any language stuff. So I dated her a little bit. There's online apps. I would say every way you can think of, you can meet people. And if you're in a place like Armenia, off the beaten path, it's pretty pretty problem free. I say this all the time. Look at me. I'm an old, fat, ugly guy, and I've got all the dates that I could handle if I choose to have them. So I don't know. What can I say? I knew you were working up to that question. Mike, thank you, from a Canadian. Oh my God. Take Natalie and kids out to lunch.
No.
From a Canadian.
No.
No what?
No. Okay.
No what?
No. No era mi amigo. No era nada mío.
I'll tell you later. You don't understand. What else? All right. What else we got? Mike, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Anything, and actually, I'll do just that. Any other questions? The clock is ticking. Okay. I guess we'll get ready to wrap it up. I'll go slow to see if anything comes in. All right. So I'll see you next Sunday. Look for the video on the golf course this coming week. Possibly I might get the coffee shop one done, but probably not, especially if I do an interview. There's another interview that I'll probably be working on. I'm trying to set it up. So that'll be in the next couple of weeks. And what else? I'll do an update video again. Seem to get some pretty good comments on it. So I'll try to do that. At least it doesn't take much for editing. What's a good transport from the airport? If you're coming into the Armenian airport, you just grab a taxi. It's going to cost you about $8 coming to town. If you're coming into the Pareda airport, then you're going to want to take a taxi to the bus terminal and then a bus to Armenia if this is where you're coming. Okay, if you have any other questions, go to grandcolumbia.live. Everything you want to find is there. This video that's showing live actually shows on that website. You can always find me there. If you do contributions, you can also do it there. If you want any cool t-shirts like this, you can do it there. If you just want to listen to a podcast or read a blog or whatever, it's all there. And that's enough promotion. So I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.